say you that your gross total income is 10 lakh and your taxable income is only 7 lakh, then will you believe me? Yes or no? My friends, it is yes. After considering all your exemptions and income, you calculate your gross total income. And from that gross total income, you can also reduce your taxable salary. And the instrument through which we can reduce the taxable salary after calculating the gross total income is tax deduction. Hello everyone, I am Aditi Khandelwala, certified financial planner, and in this video, I am going to talk about all the deductions from Section 80C to Section 80U so that you can avail them and reduce your taxable salary. But before going ahead with all the sections, I will explain you a little bit about tax deductions. Deduction can be availed only if you have done some investments or expenses. That's why I have categorized all your deductions into major 5 categories. First one is investments, the second is your retirement, third one is health, fourth one is house, and the fifth one is others. And in investments, I am going to talk about major 2 sections, that is Section 80C and Section 80CCD 1B. And under the expenses, I have categorized into 4 parts, that is your housing, health, education and others. So without getting delay, let's get started. First of all, let's talk about the investment part, that is Section 80C. Under Section 80C, you can avail the maximum deduction of rupees 1,50,000, and the investment products available under Section 80C are: first is your employee provident fund, and the contribution of the employee provident fund is 12% of your basic salary. The second is equity linked savings schemes. The minimum amount of investments you can do in this scheme is rupees 500 and it has a lock-in period of 3 years. The third one is life insurance premium. Under there, the contribution that is eligible for deduction is not more than 10% of your sum assured. Make sure that 10% what you are going to pay is the premium amount. And the fourth one is National Pension System. And the minimum amount from which you can start investing in NPS is rupees 1,000. And it is locked in till the age of 60 years and it can be further extended to the 70 years also. Coming to the fifth one, that is National Savings Certificate. You can start investing with minimum rupees 100 and it has a lock-in period of 5 years. The sixth one is your 5-year post office or bank FD. Under this, your minimum amount of investment is rupees 100 and it has also a lock-in period of 5 years. Coming to the seventh one, that is Public Provident Fund. In short, we call it PPF. Under PPF, your minimum amount of investment is rupees 500 and the lock-in period for PPF is 15 years. It can be further extended in the block of 5 years also. Coming to the eighth one, that is Senior Citizen Savings Schemes. The minimum amount of investment is rupees 500 and the maximum is 15 lakh. Also, it has a lock-in period of 5 years and can be extended by 3 years. And the ninth one is Sukanya Samriddhi Scheme. The minimum amount of investment is rupees 250 and maximum is 1,50,000. Also, if you want to open the Sukanya Samriddhi account, then it can be only opened under the girl's name and the age of that girl child should be below 10 years. Also, there are few pension plans provided by insurers and mutual funds also. Under that also you can avail the deduction of Section 80C. Now coming to the second section of investment part, that is Section 80CCD 1B. Under this, you can contribute to NPS scheme up to the limit of 50,000. Make sure it is an additional investments, as in like 1,50,000 maybe you have claimed under Section 80C, and along with you can also claim an additional deduction of 50,000 from Section 80CCD 1B. And in total, when we talk about the investment parts, you can avail the deduction of rupees 2 lakh. Now coming to the expenses part, we have these 4 sections. So let's start with the education first. Under education, we have a Section 80E. So what exactly happens under Section 80E? Let's say I have my EMI that is going for my education loan. Under that EMI, we have 2 components, that is your principal component and your interest component. So when I talk about this interest component, you can avail the deduction of this interest component, and the amount of deduction that you can avail under section 80E is unlimited. So whatever is your interest amount, you can avail all of them in your section 80E. Now we are going to talk about the health part. Under health, we have 4 sections. Let's talk about the section 80D first. Under section 80D, you can avail the deduction up to the limit of rupees 25,000 on yourself, your spouse, your family, and your parents. And if any one of them, maybe you or your family or your parents, are senior citizens, then the maximum limit that you can avail in a deduction is rupees 50,000. Coming to the section 80D, under section 80D, you can avail the deduction up to the limit of rupees 75,000. Coming to the section 80DD, expenditure should be incurred on medical treatment or specified insurance scheme on your dependents, and your dependents can include your spouse, parents, children, or siblings. But the dependent should be disabled, and the disability factor is more than 40% and less than 80%. And if the disability is more than 80%, then the deduction amount that can be claimed under this section is 1,25,000. Coming to the section 80DDB, expenditure should be incurred on the treatment of specified critical ailments on self or dependents, and the maximum amount that can be availed as a deduction is 40,000, and if it is a case of senior citizen, then the deduction amount is 1 lakh rupees. Now coming to the section 80U, it is available for the people who are disabled. So let's say if the disability is more than 40% but less than 80%, then the deduction is up to rupees 75,000, and if the disability is severe, then the deduction you can avail is up to the limit of rupees 1,25,000. Coming to the housing part, under housing part we have a first section, that is section 80GG. Under this, the deduction can be claimed on the rent paid on your furnished or unfurnished accommodation up to the limit of rupees 65,000 or 25% of your total income, or excess of rent paid on 10% of your total income. Now the second one is the section 24B. Under this, the deduction can be claimed on the interest amount condition your house is self-occupied, and if the loan is taken after 1st April 1999, then the deduction can be claimed up to the limit of rupees 2 lakh, and if it is before April 1st 1999, then the deduction can be claimed up to the limit of rupees 30,000. And let's say if the house is rented out, then the maximum deduction you can avail in that particular financial year is rupees 2 lakh, and if you have an additional interest, then you can carry forward it to the next financial year. Coming to section 80EE, maximum rupees 50,000 can be claimed as a deduction on the interest amount if home loan is sanctioned during or after financial year 2017. Also, the loan amount should not exceed rupees 35 lakh, and the value of the house is supposed to be max rupees 50 lakh. Coming to section 80EEA, under this, maximum amount of deduction that can be claimed is rupees 1,50,000 on the interest amount if the home loan is sanctioned during financial year 20. Also, the stamp duty value of the house should not be more than rupees 45 lakh. Now coming to the others part, we have few sections. Let's talk about the first one, that is section 80EEB. Under this, if you have taken a loan on purchase of the electric vehicle, then you can claim the interest amount as a deduction up to the limit of rupees 1,50,000. Section 80TTA talks about the interest on the savings bank account, and the deduction can be claimed up to the limit of rupees 10,000. Section 80TTB talks about the senior citizens. Under this, you can claim the maximum deduction of rupees 50,000 on the interest amount that is earned on your savings account or fixed deposit account. Section 80G talks about the donation part. If you have donated the money to notified organizations or persons, then you can claim the deductions of the half the amount. So let's say I have made the donation of rupees 1 lakh. Then the deduction that I can claim is the half of 1 lakh, that is rupees 50,000. Lastly, we have section 80GGC. Under this, if you make a contribution to any political party or an electoral trust, then you can also claim the deduction, and the maximum deduction that you can avail under this section is unlimited, as in there is no limit. Even if you donate rupees 10 lakh, then also you can claim 10 lakh rupees as a deduction. Well, that's all for today. And if you like this video, then please do like and make sure you subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon button so you don't miss any videos related to personal finance. And if you have any queries related to deduction, then please drop it in a comment box also. Till then, bye bye, take care, thank you.